Well, hello there everybody. Welcome back to the channel. It's Space Cowboy here with another video for you guys here today, and it's time for Mock Draft Monday once again this week. As you can see, no video footage of me introducing myself, of course. Why? Because I'm out of town at the moment as I'm making this video, which is an interesting experience to say the least. But the show must go on, and I need to make sure these Mock Draft Mondays are done so I don't lose track. And following like we did with last week's mock draft and getting closer to the 2024 NFL draft, each mock draft we do is going to be pretty much in alignment to what I think the Cowboys front office would do on draft day if the board fell the way it did. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into this week's mock draft.
And here comes the pick.
With the 24th pick, the Dallas Cowboys select
Jackson Powers Johnson, center, Oregon. Now, this is not the first time that we've selected JPJ for our mock drafts here on the channel. In fact, the first ever mock draft we did back in February, almost 2 months ago as of this recording, he was the selection at 24 for that mock draft. Now, his draft stock has since then risen, and he's been going in the mid-teens to the early 20s before the Cowboys go in the first round. But as of recent, his draft stock has started to slide. Not that he's bad or something is going on. It's really there's other prospects that are coming up the board that are more attractive options for these teams ahead of the Cowboys. In fact, in some mock drafts, I've seen JPJ go as late as the early second round, depending on if the board falls a certain way. But when we talk about him as a prospect, and we went into detail in that first mock draft, so if you want to go check that out, click the top right of the screen right now to go to that video. But he's the best interior offensive lineman prospect at the center position in this draft class. In fact, if you were to draft him at 24, or if you were to trade down, get some extra draft capital, and still select him, he would be a damn good selection for this team. When we look at how the offensive line is currently constructed, you have Tyler Smith at left tackle, presumably. Then you go to left guard. Right now it's looking like TJ Bass is going to take that spot, and then Brock Hoffman at center. Zach Martin at right guard, and right tackle is Terrence Steele. I think that you can upgrade left guard or center. It's really a matter of what happens on draft night. And we've been seeing in these 30-day visits a lot of the guys that are projected to go in the first round that the Cowboys have been bringing in for 30-day visits are offensive linemen. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Cowboys went O-line early. In fact, Stephen Jones even mentioned that as a possibility. I don't know where they're going to go. But if JPJ is the pick, I would be ecstatic. You get a guy that's going to be a staple on your offensive line for 10 plus years. He's going to be one of the better centers in this league if he develops properly. If we're talking about long-term, I think that you might have to consider spending some more draft capital at the guard position or investing in that in free agency, which we know the Cowboys won't do. But either way, the Cowboys get the next great center in the NFL in Jackson Powers Johnson at 24. And we move on to round 2.
And here comes the pick.
the Dallas Cowboys select
Junior Colson, linebacker, Michigan. For the second year in a row, the Cowboys used their second round selection on a Michigan player. This go around, it's on the defensive side of the ball at linebacker no less, as opposed to offense last year with Luke Schoonmaker at tight end. Junior Colson is a linebacker prospect I really like. In fact, in a previous mock draft, we did select him. So if you want to go get the details on how he is as a prospect, go to that mock draft at the top right of the screen right now. But the Cowboys need to add more young guys to this linebacker core and good prospects at that, which Junior Colson is. Them adding Eric Kendricks is not enough to address linebackers seriously. I have been saying it several times on the channel. You can't just go into the season with what you got at linebacker. If you really want to address the position long term, you need to add some talent into the room. Not just 1-year deals for guys that are coming in and most likely going elsewhere after this year. Mike Zimmer needs his linebackers, and if the Cowboys really want to make him cook with what he's got on defense, go get him his linebackers. Mike Zimmer gets a guy that he can mold into a good linebacker in his defense, and alongside that, you address a position of need. The Cowboys need to add more true linebackers onto this defense and not use that hybrid safety linebacker crap that they've been using over the past couple years under Dan Quinn. With that, The Cowboys take Junior Colson, they address linebacker, and we go ahead and move on to round 3.
And here comes the pick.
The Dallas Cowboys select
Trey Benson, running back, Florida State. The Cowboys finish up this 3-round mock draft by taking a running back here in round 3, and in my personal opinion, running back 1 of this draft class. I really like Trey Benson. I think that he would fit very well in Dallas, and with what the Cowboys have been doing at the running back position, I think it would make sense for him to go to Dallas. We talk about what they've done. Yes, they brought back Rico Dowdle on a 1-year deal, which is cheap. We also look at what they did. They let Tony Pollard walk. It looks like they're interested in an Ezekiel Elliott reunion or even adding a guy like Dalvin Cook. If they were to add one of those guys, and considering with what the room is, you would have a mixture of Rico Dowdle, Ezekiel Elliott, or even Dalvin Cook. Malik Davis is still in this room, and then most likely a rookie. We'll insert Trey Benson here since he was selected. With this, you get a guy in Trey Benson that's not going to get a whole lot of workload in his first year. That will most likely be splitting carries between Zeke or Cook or even Rico Dowdle, Malik Davis, etc., depending on how he does. And I understand that the Cowboys did throw a pick at a guy like Deuce Vaughn, but I think that if the Cowboys take Trey Benson, and considering who else is in the room, I would think the Cowboys would just leave Deuce Vaughn on the practice squad. Hope he doesn't get scooped up by another team, but I wouldn't be upset with that. I think that this pick really finishes up this 3-round mock draft quite well, considering that the Cowboys have a lot of holes to fill. But if they're getting guys that I think can be impact players early on, they're going to need it. And I know that it's just me trying to be as hopeful as possible, knowing with how gloomy this offseason has been. But what do you guys think? If these were the first 3 picks of the Cowboys draft class for 2024, how would you feel? Put that down in the comments section below. On top of that, feel free to participate. If you want to put your own 3-round mock draft down there, what you would do if you were the Cowboys and what they should be doing, put that down there below as well. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.